Hi there. So I'm just giving a quick tutorial on how to use IXL. You should be able to access the username and password, which is right here. Okay. Anyways, so once you're here, you're going to sign in. And this is something that I do with the kids quite frequently. And they get about like 3 classes a week to work on this for about half an hour or so. Um, so there's a few tools that I recommend on here. So number one, about this right here, live. So live will actually show, if you click right here under live, um, when you are, and what I normally do is I showcase this screen when I want people to work on their IXL. So for example, for language, I'll say, all right, everyone, open up your IXL, log in. Everybody has their username and password emailed to them. And then from there, I'll say log in and start doing your questions. What's going to happen is as soon as they log in and start answering their first question, their name will show up here as active. And then below that, you'll see students are inactive. And that is a quick, easy way to tell the teacher exactly who's working on what question and who's not working on anything at all. Even if students need help, you'll see a red pop up on the screen and an exclamation mark. For students that are idle, you'll see a pause sign, and that's a feature that I recommend. Um, Also, I have something called um, top five. So for top five, it is my incentive for students to go and work on it outside of class time. So what I normally do is once a week on Monday or the first day of the week that I have them for language, I will actually give top five to them. Show who the top five students are. So if you go to language, top five, right here, I'll open this up. What I do is I have all my students in 7E, and these are the only ones that are doing language anyways. And I have my total points here. Once they get 20 points, increments of 20, they get themselves a spin to win. Okay. And then what I do is I normally, just so I remember, I check off, I right click and I put a comment on the week that I'm doing the top five on, right? So this is what it looks like. So for me to find out what it is, I actually share my screen with the students. I go to students, quick view, and what that does is it tells me at a glance what student who how many questions these students have answered and how long they spent on it. Okay. So what I normally do is I for the week of, for example, the week of April, March 28th. Actually, no, this one, the last one I did was March 28th. So then March 28th is the week of it, meaning the 28th. So everything before that, right? So from uh, March 28th, Monday, all the way to Sunday, right? Which is April 3rd. That's the week that is showing, right? And then what I do is I go sort um, by time usually. Okay, so all right, usually I go start. So for April 4th this week, for example, I'll sort by time, and it'll tell me exactly how long students have been working on this for, and the students with the longest time, and I kind of gauge it by the questions, but mainly I'm gauging by the time. I will pretty much give the top five students. So it'll show, because I sorted by time, um, it gives me the first student. So first place would have been Hannah, and then I would go over here. Hannah would then get 5 points. So it goes in increments of five. So first place gets 5 points. Second place was Adenir. So I scroll down. This Adenir has spent 47 minutes answering 121 questions. So he's second place. So Adenir gets 4 points. Third place, scroll down, is Jason. He gets 3 points. And then you get the idea. So Isabel is fourth place. She gets 4 points. Oh, sorry, 2 points. All right. And then fifth place, because it's top five, is Arjun. So Arjun gets 1 point. Okay, so this is a fun way for students to get engaged. And what they do is if they get a winner prize called Spin to Win. Um, and I'm going to give you, it's right here. It's looks something like this. Okay. What this allows them to do is earn some like 1 week extension or end class early. You can decide when that is, or you can save it, and then they can use it. Um, but this is their incentive for birthdays as well as top five for IXL. Okay, so I'll share that link with you as well. Okay, that's pretty much it for IXL. Besides, one last thing is when you go and want to, and so let's just say it's on the mark, okay? And my plan is to mark them at the end of the year, or you can mark them however you want. But what this does is you go to progress right here, and then when you click on progress, click on student progress specifically. Okay, so click on that. Then you can select your students. From here, for example, Adenir, it'll let me know exactly what they've been working on. Okay, and what smart score they got. So what I did was I told them that if you get 70 or smart score of 70 and up, that counts as you're completed. So 70 would mean that they're getting like a level 3 or so. So that's a good mark. And then if they get anything like 80 or 90 or 100, then you're looking at like a level 4, 4 minus, 4, 4 plus. So you can use your own discretion. Um, I usually just do an average. And this is all based, these skills that they're working on is based on this right here, which is their to-do list. Okay, so if you go to language homeroom, go to the to-do list, it's right here. Okay, uh, so all the kids have access to their own checklist, and every week I give them one or two, sometimes three, depending on yeah, what I want to do. I pretty much tell them when it's due. Okay, so they have 1 week to complete a certain amount of skills. So, for example, here, PP1, PP2, PP3. That's let's just say that's what they can be working on. I will normally highlight it, change the color of it so it's easy to see, and then I'll tell them this is due. I'll put a comment here. This is due April. Yeah, let's say the next week. So April 17th. I usually give them until Sunday. So April 17th. So they have exactly 7 days from that time. Okay. And then that's going to be the next section, right? So what kids will do is they'll go to their IXL and they're going to finish these skills. So Adenir has been is actually finished. So you can actually work ahead if you want. The kids can actually work ahead. All they have to do is finish this to-do list by the end of the year, and you just give them time over the year to finish what they can. And then they actually access it through here. So you can go to learning. This is what kids do. They'll see this, go to grade 7. And then here are their skills. Okay, so PP, what is it? Yeah. So it's PP2 and PP3 is right here. Okay, PP2, PP3 is right there. Okay. Um, Actually, that doesn't make any sense. Actually, what PP? Oh no, sorry, that was My fault. That's not, that doesn't make any sense. It's actually two P's. So make sure, don't make the mistake that I just did. Make sure you look carefully. So normally I should go Control F and I'll type in PP3 and it'll bring me here. Formatting. That makes more sense. Okay. So yeah, so that's what they're working on. Just make sure they should know about this by now, but make sure you tell them to learn from an example. They can take a screenshot of this, make sure they know exactly what they have to do. I might even do a short little lesson. Sometimes I don't. I just have them work uh, on it individually, or they can work on it in groups, little small groups. I even have two helpers. My two helpers are Nitgun and Isabel. They're actually finished this entire to-do list. So they are my helpers to help any students in the class who is struggling, right? But 70 is the smart score of 70 is all they need, and 100 is a 4 plus. Okay, so when you mark them, this is under writing, and that's what I would give them is a level 4 plus. So that's pretty much it for IXL and what I do in a nutshell. Okay, hope that clears things up and makes it simple.